This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Time now is 4:27 here on your Monday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. Lauren Casey has the week off.
We want to start off with weather this morning, I understand, because there are some large storms headed our way, Alyssa.
That's right.
And this is coming from the west, where they saw some devastating tornadoes last night.
They did see some damaging winds last night. Those tornadoes went through the Midwest as well, and we are seeing that same storm system coming towards us right now. We are under a marginal risk of some strong to severe storms today. Most of that is going to happen during the midday hour. That's when that system is going to start to move through, really in the mid-morning and through midday, with just a chance of those showers and storms this afternoon. That's all from that same cold front. As that moves through, we are under an alert day because of those storm systems that are associated with this. Temperatures today will climb into the low 60s. We are going to see a little bit more humidity in the forecast, which of course is going to feed into that instability with those storms. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on that throughout our day today. It is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Great time to get that Storm Shield app just so you are aware of what's going on outside.
All right, Alyssa, thank you.
In the news this morning, the State Attorney General Curtis Hill is in the hot seat today. His law license in jeopardy as a hearing gets underway following allegations that he had inappropriate contact with several women, including a state lawmaker. Attorney General Hill has fought back calls from the governor and the Speaker of the House to step down. Hill has denied the allegations as well repeatedly. That hearing could go throughout the entire week.
And it is the last leg of the I-69 extension project. People who live between Martinsville and Indy will get a chance to voice their concerns this week. Tonight, INDOT will hold the I-69 meeting at Martinsville High School. On Tuesday, it will be at Center Grove High School near Greenwood, and on Thursday, the meeting will be at Perry Meridian High School. All three meetings begin at 5:30 p.m. and this is a really important meeting for anyone who uses this to go to and from work or often in their travels.
Thousands of people between Morgan County and Marion County, your chance to speak up and be heard as this project is coming towards Indianapolis. And of course, on Friday, we wore blue, and of course, because of that, the Colts
that's all
are on top. Yeah, right here, RTV6. They head into a new week, ranked #1 in the AFC South. What a game! This after their big win against the Houston Texans. Fans are excited considering how many felt after quarterback Andrew Luck left the team. Now, the victory should be a boost as Jacoby Brissett and the team welcomes the Broncos to Lucas Oil on Sunday. And in that matchup, the Colts are favored to win. All the best to them, and of course, we're excited. Go Colts.
Yeah, and we have a lot more news, weather, and traffic here to start your work week. We'll have all of that coming up right now in Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Coming up on Good Morning Indiana, a disciplinary hearing is set to begin for Attorney General Curtis Hill. What's at stake as he faces multiple groping allegations.
And a man lucky to be alive this morning after crashing a small plane into that cornfield, what the pilot says caused that incident.
Plus, an organization is empowering women through clothes. How Dress for Success is helping them boost their careers. 4:30 here on your Monday morning. Thanks for waking up bright and early with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Rafael Sanchez. I would say in for Lauren Casey, but she's on vacation, and I'm part of the shift, so
yeah.
I'm me.
You're just up a little bit earlier than usual. Well, we are happy to have you here this early. And Alyssa, people need to be keeping a close eye on the weather today because we are seeing some strong storms headed our way.
That's right. So they have affected the Midwest yesterday, and they are continuing to push into Indiana this morning. We will see those by mid-morning. What you're going to notice this morning, though, as you step outside, it's not as cool as it's been. We are seeing a little bit more humidity in the forecast. That, of course, is going to continue to build that instability as those storms approach the area today. Temperatures starting out in the 50s this morning, so not nearly as cool as we have been. And you can see right now, it is quiet on the radar, but just off to our southwest, we do have that system starting to approach that's moving into Illinois right now, and that's going to move into our area by mid-morning. As it moves through, we have the potential of some showers and thunderstorms. We could see some of those showers be some heavy downpours at times. We also have a marginal risk of some strong to severe storms today, but you can see a lot lot of that activity is going to happen for the midday hour, and then it's going to clear out as we head into the afternoon with just some spotty chances later today. Better chance as we head overnight once again to see some stray showers as that system continues to push across our area. Behind this, much cooler weather, but first we are going to talk about today. As that system moves through, we are going to see a little bit more wind. With that, those winds are going to pick up. We're going to see those sustained winds out of the south up to 20 miles per hour, those gusts near 35 miles per hour. So we're going to keep an eye on that for you today. Temperatures will climb into the upper 60s. Good time to get that Storm Shield app just so you are aware of what's going on in the weather department.
Alyssa, thank you so much. Time now is 4:32. All is dry as we are awaiting that impending rain to come through the area. But for now, all things are well. As we begin this Monday morning, a live look at our in-dot camera, our Traffic Now system. This I-65 at Lafayette Road, as you can see, traffic is still very light this morning. We expect more to build throughout the morning here on Good Morning, Indiana. We also are now following some breaking news into the RTV6 newsroom. This morning, police say one person is dead, another in critical condition. As you can see from the scene, this crash on the east side. You could also hear those emergency personnel on the scene. Call to the intersection of 10th Street and Arlington Avenue around 3:20 this morning. Police say they spotted a vehicle speeding down Arlington Avenue, and then a short time later found it had slammed into another vehicle at the intersection. The driver of the speeding car is in critical condition this morning, while the driver of the vehicle that was hit was killed. Police remain on the scene this morning, and we will bring you the very latest information as soon as we get it here on RTV6.
Today, Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill will face a disciplinary hearing over groping allegations. Hill's law license is at stake after accusations that he drunkenly groped 4 women at a bar last year. A former state Supreme Court justice will open what could be a week-long hearing this afternoon on the professional misconduct complaint against Hill. He denies the claims from a state lawmaker and 3 legislative staffers that he inappropriately touched them during a party at an Indianapolis bar. Hill has refused calls from Governor Eric Holcomb and other state leaders to resign. The Indiana Supreme Court will ultimately decide whether to impose any sanctions on Hill's law license, which he needs to serve as Attorney General. Hill's term runs through 2020.
A pilot lucky he was able to walk away without any injuries after this small ultralight aircraft made a rough landing in Johnson County in a cornfield. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office says the ultralight plane went down northeast of I-65 and Whiteland Road Sunday afternoon. The pilot telling investigators he had mechanical difficulties and landed in that cornfield, which was his friend's property. The sheriff's deputies contacted the Federal Aviation Administration, but the FAA said it will not need to respond because this was an ultralight aircraft and no one was hurt.
A 71-year-old man is dead after 2 boats collided on a Delaware County reservoir. It happened on Prairie Creek Reservoir just after 10:30 Sunday morning. The DNR says because of the crash, Leonard Anderson was thrown from his boat and was later found in the water. Officers say the motor of Anderson's boat kept running and the boat did not stop going in circles on the reservoir. When crews found Anderson, they performed CPR, but he did not survive. Investigators say Anderson was not wearing a life jacket or an engine cutoff lanyard.
The time now is 4:35. A Purdue University professor and his wife, they've pleaded guilty to using more than $1 million in federal research funds for their personal expenses. 61-year-old Quinn-Yu Han serves as the director for Purdue's Center for Materials Processing Research. Federal prosecutors say Han admitted to using $1.3 million from National Science Foundation funds. The money funneled into his wife Lu Shou's company, Hans Tech LLC. Both have pleaded guilty to a federal wire fraud charge. A Purdue spokesperson says they're aware of the plea and say it will, quote, carefully consider the matter in light of its policies.
With rain in the forecast today, an Indianapolis homeowner says a neighborhood drainage issue is a flood disaster waiting to happen. Residents on Thrush Drive say that when it rains, a drainage ditch overflows and floods their backyards. They say the problem is caused by overgrowth in the ditch that hasn't been maintained by the city. Phil Stark's house sits right in front of the ditch. He says it has been cleared by the city twice in the 30 years he has lived in the home.
People aren't going to go down there. I'm not going to go in there and clean, especially when it's wet. Now, if it dries up, I don't even have anything that I don't have a weed eater to get in and do that, or a sickle. I mean, they've had people volunteer to go along the river and pick up garbage from White River. Why can't they have a group of volunteers come out and clean this up?
RTV6 checked with the Mayor's Action Center and learned that homeowners are responsible for clearing the ditch along their property lines. A city spokesperson says residents were given a letter last year reminding them about the responsibility. Stark says the overgrown shrubs and trees have become too big of a mess for he and his neighbors to deal with. He hopes the city will step in with the proper equipment to clear the path.
Hiring Hoosiers is all about connecting you to jobs and exploring the barriers that may get in the way of those opportunities. Dress for Success is among those leading the way to make sure that all women of all ages are empowered as they begin their job hunt or climb the ladder of success. The Indianapolis chapter held its 20th annual Stepping Out in Style fundraiser on Friday night. The goal to raise more than $300,000 to help women become financially independent. Now, the key to success, no matter the job, is having confidence, which is among the many things Dress for Success teaches its members.
And it lifts them up, and it lifts the burden from those people to give them a chance to go out and start their lives in a different way and build their lives in a different way.
That was local businessman Denny Sponsel, who helps raise money for the organization, which over the past 2 decades has helped 17,000 women. RTV6 is a proud media sponsor for Dress for Success.
Devastation after a possible tornado tore through northern Texas. The damage left behind by the overnight storm.
And a recall has been issued for some Walmart sausage products after the break, what you may have to throw out of your freezer this morning. But first, let's check in with Alyssa Donovan. Hey, Alyssa.
And we are starting dry this morning, but we are seeing those rain chances move in mid-morning. They're sticking with us throughout your Monday. I'll have all the details and what you need to know coming up.
And refined Atlas SE with technology.
Parts of Texas are cleaning up after being slammed by severe weather overnight.
And these are some of the images. When we get to daylight, we'll see much more. ABC's Kenneth Moulton reports on one of the hardest hit areas appears to be Dallas, which took a direct hit from a possible tornado.
Here when this happened. Tornado in Dallas. This morning, damage in Dallas after what appears to be a direct hit from a tornado. This dramatic video taken as the twister hit overnight.
Go in the tornado! We're in a tornado!
Radar tracked the twister for 17 miles across the northern part of the city, damaging homes and flipping cars.
So I went and got my bathtub and put pillows and a mattress over me and just held on, and it felt like a train, just like they say it does.
One of the damaged homes is owned by pro hockey player Tyler Seguin of the Dallas Stars. Here's the before picture and the picture he tweeted after the tornado.
Holy cow.
The powerful winds knocked down power lines, leaving tens of thousands of customers without power.
Windows busted all over the house. The gas meter in the backyard is hissing. Our backyard fence, tree, patio cover, everything was just down, gone.
This morning, there are reports of at least one building collapse, along with several businesses damaged, including this Home Depot. And the roof of this church now gone.
Just started praying that we would come through alive.
Christy Condry was watching the Cowboys game on TV when the twister came barreling through.
We've got a huge tree in the pool. Our fence is down. We've lost another tree. But we're alive. I never dreamed that I would be in one. And I know this was probably a light one. I don't care what kind it was. I never want to be in one again.
Kenneth Moulton, ABC News, New York.
And we have that storm system moving towards us today. That's why it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Not expecting quite that severe weather that they saw in the Midwest yesterday, but we do have that potential of showers and thunderstorms. Some of those thunderstorms could also produce some gusty winds. Expecting that by mid-morning, and then that is going to become a lot more spotty by the afternoon. So you're good for your morning drive. We are seeing those clear skies right now. Just a little bit of cloud coverage this morning, but quiet on the radar. Off to our west, that's where we have that storm moving through. That cold front is starting to approach, moving into Illinois, and that will make it to our area by mid-morning. So we're going to start out dry today, and then we'll start to see those clouds build in mid-morning, and then that's when we'll also see that potential of showers and some embedded thunderstorms with that system. Could see some heavy rainfall as that continues to push through, looking at up to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall with that system moving across the area today. But look at this. It moves very very quickly. So here we are Monday at 11 a.m. That starts to move in, and then by 2 p.m. just starting to see that become a little bit more spotty in nature. So it's moving very quickly, just bringing us a quick douse of rain with that system. Possibility of some thunderstorms as well. In this system, we have some gusty winds. So we're starting with those winds about 20 to 25 miles per hour, those gusts this morning. Then we'll see those up to 35 to 40 miles per hour this afternoon as that system moves out. Areas that do see thunderstorms could see some stronger winds within that system as well. Starting out today, temperatures are in the 50s, a little bit more humidity in that forecast. That's going to help build that instability as we head into the mid-morning hours and that system approaches. Winds right now fairly light out of the east-southeast, about 9 miles per hour, but those sustained winds are going to come up to about 25 miles per hour, and those gusts are going to be close to 40 miles per hour this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low to mid 60s today, so we are sort of right about average with those temperatures. It's going to feel a little bit more humid outside with that system moving through as well. Behind this, we are going to see cooler air, so we have that cold front moving through, and then that's going to take our temperatures off a little bit. Tomorrow we'll start in the 40s, so we'll be about 10 degrees cooler than we are starting today. And then tomorrow, temperatures only climbing into the 50s, so it's going to be a cooler day on Tuesday. After the system moves through, then we'll start to stabilize with those temperatures. We're back into the 60s by midweek.
Alyssa, thank you. We are taking a live look right now at I-69 at 82nd Street. You can see there is quite a bit of traffic out there right now for this early morning hour. No issues to report right now, just a large amount of traffic out there for just before 5 a.m. And here is I-70 at Sherman Drive. You can see traffic moving along up to speed in this area. Also, a reminder on the east side, there is a police investigation going on due to a deadly crash that is at 10th Street and Arlington Avenue. So if you are headed that way, just be aware that that intersection is being impacted right now.
And we'll keep an eye on that breaking news throughout the morning here on Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 4:46. An investigation underway this morning after a training accident that killed 3 Army soldiers. The soldiers were riding in a Bradley fighting vehicle on Sunday at Fort Stewart in Georgia when it rolled into the water. They were pronounced dead at the scene. 3 others were hurt and taken to the hospital. All of the soldiers belong to the 3rd Infantry Division.
If you recently bought frozen meat from Walmart, you'll want to listen to this recall. The Great Value brand frozen pork and turkey sausage patties are being pulled off of store shelves because of possible salmonella contamination. George's Prepared Foods is recalling more than 6,000 pounds of the sausages. The affected pork sausages have a use-by date of October 16th. The turkey patties, October 24th. And the family-sized pork sausages have the dates November 3rd and 5th. There have not been any reports of anyone getting sick, but if you have the recalled sausages, throw them away or return them to Walmart.
If you're making a cup of coffee right now or some eggs, just pause for a second and take a look at this. You'll want to see this. 2 construction cranes were imploded at the Hard Rock Hotel in New Orleans. That hotel was under construction when the edge of the building collapsed more than a week ago. That collapse killed 3 people and sent 30 to the hospital. The crane's demolition was scheduled for Friday, but was delayed until yesterday because of Tropical Storm Nestor. Sections of the second crane are still hanging over the collapsed building, but officials say that was part of the plan. The Indianapolis Colts are now the top team in the AFC South, still ahead. How the game came down to one big defensive play. We'll show it to you next right here. Yeah, you keep going on Good Morning Indiana.
And another teen was hurt after a shooting on Monument Circle. New at 5, what leaders have to say about the continuing gun violence among young people downtown. But first,
I'm Seema Iyer, and coming up today on the all-new Court TV, our team is live in Wisconsin for week 2 of the killer girlfriend murder trial. 22-year-old Ezra McCandless is accused of murder in the death of Alex Woodworth. She says she was acting in self-defense, whereas the prosecution says the victim's 16 stab wounds tell a different story. We'll bring you live gavel-to-gavel coverage all day on Court TV.
And we'll be watching. Don't forget, you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting courttv.com. Time now is 4:49. This is Good Morning Indiana, and we'll be right back.
Formula for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
This morning, the Indianapolis Colts, they're sitting in first place in the AFC South. Go Colts! After a huge home win over the Houston Texans, the game came down to the final seconds and a big defensive play. Sports Director Dave First and Brad Brown with our coverage from Lucas Oil Stadium. Guys, take it away.
Well, how about it? Your Indianapolis Colts back in first place in the AFC South. 30-23 was the final. It wasn't even that close, really, but it got close in the end.
It really did. You kind of knew Houston was going to hang around. This had a feel of a game of kind of late November, early December. Right. It's not hardly kind of a playoff conversation, but it had the feel of that between these division rivals.
I mean, the defense gave up a ton of yards, and quite frankly, you're thinking this isn't going to go very well for Indy in the end, but when push came to shove, especially in the red zone, the guys stepped up, and Darius Leonard with the pick of the afternoon and that defensive play of the game, really. Darius Leonard back after that concussion, all the symptoms he had in the last couple of weeks. Man, did he step up at the end.
And I'll tell you what, Houston showed they can strike quickly. They put the points up when they needed to, but those last two drives, the late punt from Sanchez, pinned him down inside the 5, had to take that safety. Houston got one more chance, but ultimately at the end, the Colts D making the stop they needed to get the win here today.
One of those great examples, Justin Houston with that sack, probably what should have been a touchdown for Houston. Very quick whistle, but in the end, though, the Colts get it done 30-23. The defense elated in the locker room after the game.
We just played sound defense, you know. We went out, we had a great game plan. The coaches put us in the right positions to go out and make plays, and we executed the game plan pretty well. We kind of kept him in the pocket so he couldn't get out and beat us with his feet. So we just had a great game plan against him.
Did you realize how big it was at the time? What happened after?
It was a third down stop, so I knew when I seen they blew the whistle there, and he was down. So it was very big, because if they didn't, it was a touchdown. So it was huge for us.
Did you heard the whistle? You knew he was down?
No, I was steady twisting that ankle then. Trying to get him down. That's a tough guy. He's very hard to get down, but I was happy they did blow that whistle.
So the defense excited, not about the total number of yards, but the fact they got the win in the end. And how about the job Jacoby Brissett? I thought this was a running team. Did they have just 180 yards against Kansas City a couple weeks ago?
And I'll tell you what, Brissett came out, best game he's played at the season. Really, the numbers showed best game of his career. Right. Really getting a chance to get a lot of guys involved today. Zach Pascal had a great game. Eric Ebron coming up with some big plays when he really needed to.
Eric Ebron with that catch of the day, that one-handed grab in the back of the end zone. And T.Y. Hilton usually kills Houston. Didn't exactly do that today, but still had a touchdown and 74 yards. The offense feeling it right now. The one-handed grab. Your thoughts?
Let's talk about it. Not to sound arrogant, but I kind of knew I had it the whole way. It's kind of something that you practice but don't practice. It's something that, you know, if it happens, it happens, and you know that it's happened. You got your left arm. How do you make a play in this situation? You just got to make a play.
All the guys came out, the whole team, from offense, defense, special teams. We all came out, we executed. The goal coming in was to go 1-0, and we executed in all phases, and that's what we came out here to do.
So here's the bottom line in all of this. The Colts have already had a bye, so they're a half game behind Houston when it comes to the number of games played, but a half game up now in the division, and it's going to stay that way. Half game up, game and a half up, half game down or whatever, until Houston has their bye in a couple weeks.
And there's only 5 weeks that pass until these teams play again in Houston. It's that Thursday night, the week before Thanksgiving. As bad as Jacksonville and Tennessee right now are, it's not a stretch to say that game in November could be for the division title down there in late November.
And perhaps even a home playoff game, wild card, who knows what. But right now, the Colts are in first place in the AFC South. The team excited as they run into the locker room. For Brad Brown, I'm Dave First. Back to you guys.
Thank you, guys. I'm still wearing my blue. I'm so excited. I'm like, hey.
We didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. And I want to try that
excited
one.
too.
That
we have to save
catch.
our blue for next.
We got to save our
this
blue.
coming Friday.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
All right. We do need to get a check at the weather though, because we are having some storms headed our way.
That's right. It's a Storm Team 6 alert day. Those storms moving in mid-morning, so we're good for our morning commute. But then we do see those changes coming in about 10 or 11 a.m. That's when we'll start to see those showers and maybe some thunderstorms in there. Moving through very quickly though. Highs today will be into the low 70s. Much cooler tomorrow with that passing cold front, only into the 50s for your Tuesday.